Guess what? I'm kind of
Wow,
so,
more slander.
I lost a really good friend recently, unfortunately. And I went light with them. Light.
Thank you for that. I'm going to do a quick little reset. Guys, in community conversations, collaboration. Are Palestinians starving? And that's also the poll. It's either fake news or absolutely. So right now, because this app is glitchy, it only shows me that there's 4 votes, but I'm sure there's more than that. Let me say hello to, hey, Counselor, how you doing, Abby? Rabbi, how you doing? Ashton, you're more than welcome to come to the stage. Oh, here comes David. I pray to God, seriously, that you're sober, man.
Lord, I was
sober?
The same thing.
Okay, the last time I was reading the New York Times. Okay, the last time I was reading the New York Times on Saturday, and they had questions about what's happening in Gaza. And did you say what's happening in Gaza? If they're starving, where are the starving people? I'm just saying. I'm not saying there's people that are not starving in maybe Gaza, but first of all, like, who are we going to blame? And second of all, like, who is the people? Who are the people that needs to justify, or the people? Who are the people that needs to justify or represent the people that maybe are, like, I'm tired of hearing about it, in all fairness, and with all due respect, of course. I understand there's people that are hungry. I understand there's issues, but the people that you should be blaming is the government, and the government is Hamas. And David, if I put up a poll right now, is David B drunk? I guarantee everybody's going to vote yes.
Okay, this is the David Bob video show.
And I'm done speaking. Thank you. Well, we hear the rhetoric all the time. It's genocide. They're starving over there.
Wow,
and I ask people, what's the solution? I don't see any end in sight, to be honest with you, to this conflict. We're never going to eliminate Hamas, but that doesn't mean there's a genocide going on. That doesn't mean that they're starving. Man, I'm in New York City. I got more homeless people every other block over here. So worried about what's going on over there. What about what's going on in our own country? Guys, you're going to go popcorn style. You want to jump in, grab the mic, just disrespect the one mic policy. Anyone?
You want to respond on our guys in starving?
A Palestinian starving.
There's plenty of food there. And there's several ways to measure it. For one, you can measure first how much aid is getting in. In the past, per week, there's about 3 times the amount of aid to feed every single person in Gaza. And another thing, you can also just follow Gazan social media, and that's your news. Like one journalist, her name is Injim, and she has a hashtag, the Gaza you don't see. It's just videos from Gaza, Gazans uploaded under various social medias. Not even with commentary most of the time, no commentary at all. It's just like, this location, at this place, on this date, at this time, this video. That's it, you know? And you hit the video and link the original source of the video so you can go back to their accounts. Like, you can go to the Gazan social media accounts, you know? And when you look at the Gazan social media accounts and you look at all media stories, you see very different tones of what's happening, because they have desserts galore. They have fancy coffees. They have all kinds of stuff still happening all the time. Different restaurants, different things. Like, there's food. Oh, maybe some issue with Hamas is stealing from some people in some parts of Gaza. Maybe, yeah. And that's the thing to talk about, and that's an issue of Hamas sucks because they're evil, you know?
Thank you,
no food.
Thank you. I appreciate you. So, are you there now?
Yes, sir.
I gotta leave. I gotta
Miss
walk my
McGee?
puppy.
Yes, can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So I changed the topic to the room. Thank you for your share, Autumn. We're gonna pivot off this topic because I think it's bullshit. I know the true answer. Will Charlie Kirk's death spark more violence? Miss McGee, what do you think?
Before we move on, and I'm being serious now. You can tell me, okay? I know we're in an open space, a public space, but you can tell me the truth to this question. Don't try to keep any Jewish secrets. Do Jewish people have magic coffee beans? Because I told you before, the best cup of coffee I ever had in my life was at a Jewish day school. So tell me the truth. I've never had a cup of coffee like this ever again.
The only Jew I know that has magic coffee would be Al Normal, who presses his own beans every day. That's all I know.
God damn it.
That's so true.
That must be what it was. It must have been pressed. Oh my God. I've never had a cup of coffee that good ever again, and that was years ago. Okay, I'm done.
Well, when you come to New York, I'll make sure that me, you, and Noah will meet up. I'll have him press you some. He gets beans from directly from Saudi Arabia or some shit.
So true.
Wait, so I had lunch with Norm, and now I should have breakfast with Norm, apparently.
Yeah, Norm's a good guy.
Get him to give you those beans.
I guess so. Yeah, because I've only had lunch with him, so I've never had coffee, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for my Nick Tickets asshole. Jordan, how you doing?
This is about to start. Let's go.
I just saw something on Facebook. So, is there new commentary going around of what did Charlie say about the tribe? Is that what's going around today?
I haven't heard it, Jordan. What did he allegedly say?
So this right-wing Gentile community is saying that Jews hate, and not a white nationalist community, but far right, or just a conservative group is saying that Charlie Kirk said that Jews hated Gentiles and they're funding Gentile programs. And this kind of stochastic terrorism, gaslighting people, like this is kind of a new thing. I hadn't seen this one develop. It's kind of tearing apart. It seems to be like tearing apart.
Fly away.
Who's on the left and right, what is
Fly
kind of
away.
right. It was interesting. I was curious to think about this. I can share it if you want.
As a clergy person, I can tell you that trope's been going on for 5,000 years.
No. But the point I'm trying to say is this is due to the Charlie Kirk's drama of the past week.
Tropes have been continuous throughout our lifetime.
Wow, more slander.
It just some of the words change from the beginning of the sentence to the next. We have to be aware of that. This is not new approaches.
Right.
It's not a new approach.
The important distinction is that millions of Gentiles don't know this, and they're reading it because I'm reading the comments. They're reading it like there was something that he recently said that was original and pertaining specifically to Americans in this era.
I apologize. Somebody else should talk because I don't find this to be unique. I don't find this to be
they're just it's not helpful because there's a lot of bad people saying a lot of bad things.
Hold on, David. Let me just announce that. Just put a new article on top. Jordan, you might find this interesting. Grace, you might find this interesting. Over 10,000 posts about Charlie Kirk's murder to Israel as conspiracy theories explode online. For anything that happens in this world, blame the Jews. No Jews, no news. And it's just amazing to me. No, if you might, I just want to say that Abby, are you not sick and tired yet of all the winning? Get it.
They blame the Jews and attack the black and attack black people. Somehow they trying to make it about. I heard that the Jewish conspiracy theories about Kirk on the side, but all the anger is toward black people because how some black people responded. Like they're not focusing on who killed him or why he got killed. They're focusing, like you say, they want to always, like you say, they attack. They blame the Jewish people, but somehow they want to attack black people. It's kind of weird.
Greg, so what do you think about this article? About 10,000 posts. Tied Charlie Kirk's murder to Israel as conspiracy theories explode online.
That's insulting.
Yeah, I think that this is not new. In the past week, we have where the Jewish agencies are now really trying to come online and start gathering all these tropes. It's not unusual for the Jewish people in the past 5,000 years, whether we're online or not, right? This is a new forum, but this has been going on for a long time. Tropes are the way that hate manifests society, and that's what's going on.
Yeah, but absolutely, I understand that, but the whole, what I'm trying to point out, and I'm doing a terrible of it, is that
Is it just me, or is he in the Matrix?
No, he's in the Matrix. I'm trying to find out. It's like
how these people are posing. Divide the community.
Dr. Jordan, you're in the Matrix, sir.
Matrix all the way.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so there's a divisive nature where we're now arguing.
He's such a loser.
But they're arguing
Jordan, you're
online.
Jordan, you're coming in and out, bro. You gotta get a better spot. Let me say hello to I am Lyric. Hey Lyric, how you doing? Lyric, are you there?
Hey, JB, can you give me about 10 more minutes? I'm right in the middle of something listening.
You take your time. Guys, we're going to go popcorn style. If you want to grab the mic, you're more than welcome to. Disrespect the one mic policy. Thank you very much.
So will Charlie Kirk's death spark more violence? Absolutely, because the left has, the loony left have said, and we've heard them a million times over on this app, state that, hey, he didn't deserve to die, but if you say things that offend us, yeah, you might be shot in the head. So as long as people are continuing to critically think, because those seem to be the two main topics that keep, three, that keep people riled up. Sexuality topics, race, and politics, right? As long as we have influencers or, vocal people,
Howard,
especially
you've
on
been
the
a
right,
naughty boy, Howard. I know what you've been doing. Howard, you're a naughty boy. You're contributing to the campaign to elect candidate Congressman John Kitover.
Yeah, they have.
All right, Howard, I'm going to restart this David Bubba.
They will kill you, or at the very least, rain hellfire upon your life because you said something that offends them. So yeah. Will this spark more violence? Absolutely. As long as we have to navigate among the tender touch society who decided that words can equal death sentence, absolutely.
Well, let me play devil's advocate, right? So I pinned an article to the top. Charlie Kirk's wife, Erica, breaks her silence on husband's death after failed shooting. Now, I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. I feel horrible for this woman and her two young children. But I'll say this. I felt reading her words was a veiled threat, right? Like, now we're coming after you. And don't you think it comes from both sides now, not just the loony lefts?
Well, of course. Are there extremists on both sides? Yes. And I know, I'm trying to roll through my mental Rolodex. I know we had the senator and her husband who were killed earlier this year, and I think they attributed their deaths to a far right. I could be wrong on that. But look, it seems to me within the past year or so, a lot of the violence has been rising from the left. And let me be clear, not exclusively on the left. I mean, listen, the right did not spend the summer burning down Tesla plants and there are a lot of people who feel some way about Kirk's death, especially on the right. and nobody took to the street to burn down stores and protests and violence. But the left, over the past couple of years, when we're all worked up about something, I said we like I'm a leftist, but here in America, the leftists, when they're worked up about something, they're ready to burn the cities down, aren't they? I mean, I don't know. I can't. Now, I know somebody's going to say, but what about January 6th? I know. I get it. I get it. Okay, and I'm not excusing it. But hey, I don't make a big deal about January 6th because during Trump's, and I've said this before, so forgive me for folks who've been following me on this app for a couple of years, and they've heard me say what I'm about to say. During Trump's first term, when he won, at that time I was very anti-Trump. And I thought he was going to take the world to hell and back. And when he won his first term, the first thing that I said on social media, especially on my Facebook, and I wasn't trying to be funny, I said this man has anybody watched The Handmaid's Tale? If you're familiar with The Handmaid's Tale, you know the Gilead society that they lived in. I said this man is going to turn us into Gilead. And when they stormed the Capitol on January 6th, I said, here it is, because that's essentially how it kicked off in The Handmaid's Tale, if you've seen the series or read the books, right? Some radicals took over the White House and killed and booted all the politicians out. And I said, fucking hell, my prediction is coming true. Gilead is finally here. And thank God I was wrong. But since then, the right has been, I'm not going to say the right has not been violent, but the only violent incidents that immediately pop in my mind post-January 6th have come from the left, and I'll allow anybody smarter than me on this subject to remind me of the violence from the right that has risen post-January 6th. Thank you.
Sure. Hold on, everybody, hold on. Maddie, hold on a second. Hold on. Janie, I need you to be patient, my love. Because I have a cue. We're going to go David, Stan, Matt, Jane, Jason.
What about Jane? David.
Okay, you know, we'll go to Jane first because she's my friend and I like her. Yeah, Jane.
Thank you. I know I was so pushy. I admit it. Pushy Joe. Hey, I don't understand why. No, I respect you, of course. What the fuck? Right?
You're violent. I love you too. What did I say, Janie? What did I do? Tell me.
You're not violent? Like the right isn't
No,
violent?
I didn't say they weren't violent, Janie. Wait, I didn't say they weren't violent. I didn't say that.
Went out. Okay. All right. So I have mischaracterized what you said. I interpret it as the left is more violent than the right, and that's all I was going to challenge.
Can I get in here?
Well, Janie, let me just say this. Janie, let me just provide a little clarity for your answer. Janie, let me provide a little clarity for your submission.
Okay.
I dare not say the right is not violent. I would never say that because I know that any one of us can cite numerous examples. What I'm saying is most especially under Trump, right? The left has been very extreme. Most recently, these lunatics this summer were vandalizing and burning up Teslas and plants. I mean, that's insanity. Now, again, I know somebody will say, but Nye, the right did this, that, and the other, and I will not give you any pushback, right? I'm just saying, in light of Kirk's death especially, the left, and we've heard them on this app, stating, your words can get you killed. If you say things we don't like, if you say things we deem offensive, you might suffer negative consequences, and part of that might be death, and oh well. That's all I'm saying. Go.
I want to jump in. Is that okay?
I got you, Lyric. I got you. Let Gene win.
I'll complete. 10 seconds. I'll accept it as fair, but I could go on a list of things that
give us 3 things. Give us 3 lives. 3.
Tree of Life Synagogue, Jay. Charlottesville, Jay. Not just Jay. Every policy that seeks to fuck over women, I think it's violent that maybe women lost a little of their civil rights. maybe defining violence is important. I'll get back in line. Thank you for letting me.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna go Lyric, David, Stan, Matt, Jason. Lyric, go ahead.
Oh, thank God. I was waiting on this one. I only got a couple points. Number one, I do not think that this was a political shooting. Thus, he's a 20-year-old kid. I don't care. Yeah, he's over 18, but he's still a kid. I really think it was just probably something dumb. I don't even think he's old enough to even choose a political side per se. And if it was, I guess it's fair. What, friendly fire then? Because if he is politically charged, kind of just shot his own group. I don't condone violence in any manner, shape, form. I don't agree with any of that. But I think we need to rethink of what's going on here. I don't think this was politically motivated at all. I hope that we do get the motive. I don't think that they have actually released any motive. So until that happens, we can talk about gun violence. We can talk about violence.
Lyric, I have to strongly disagree with you. This is absolutely politically motivated because of what Charlie was.
Let me finish why. I'm almost done. And I get people are still going to say whatever they say. I'm just giving my opinion. Opinions can't be wrong. You can disagree, but they can't be wrong. And the reason I say what I say is because I know there's a lot of people on the left that totally disagree with Candace Owens, but, I don't think anybody want to take her out. That's, a little bit too far. But we do know that there are a lot of people on the left that don't agree with her. She's a political commentator. This young man was a political commentator. He's not a politician. He's not holding any office. And that's just my opinion. I don't think it's politically charged due to his age. Other political commentators out there that are still, walking around doing their things. Hope that the motive can be truly discovered. And I land with that.
Wait, may I ask you a question? You said because of his age. Now, wait. Let me just say this really quickly. I don't know. I know you were in Monica's room earlier, and I don't know if you were there when Abby came on stage. I don't know if you were still on the stage when Abby came on and explained, because I had heard on social media, read on social media, that his family and friends said while he was raised in a conservative Christian family, he had more left-leaning views. And I asked the stage, was that correct? And Abby came up and confirmed that his family gave affidavits to the FBI.
He's a Mormon.
Okay. What does that have to do with?
You said Christian.
So I said Christian. Okay, right. Well, conservative Mormon family. His family told the FBI that he had more left-leaning views despite being raised in a conservative household. So when you say it's not political, and perhaps it's not, but what does his age have to do with anything? That you said you don't think it's political because of his age.
I don't believe it's solely his age. His age really has nothing to do with it. We all know that mentally you just don't mature until you're about 25, 26. And as far as when his age comes into factor, I don't think that at that age we are mature enough to make a decision to say, yes, I totally lean right, left, purple, green.
But there are young political.
You asked me a question. Let me finish.
You can, but I just want to dialogue just really quickly because I'm trying to understand. Sure. In America, we can start voting at age 18. So if you're 18, 19, 20, and you support maybe a Kamala or Trump or Biden or Clinton or Obama, you're saying these people aren't mentally mature enough to understand which way of the political aisle they most lean towards to cast a vote?
No, that's not what I said at all. What I said was, I think that at 20, and most youngsters, we typically may, not always, but whether your family or what your community, you don't really make a hardcore decision about where you stand. At 20, anybody's impressionable. Just as well as
need to react.
That's what I'm trying to say. At 20, he could be, the keyword could be, most likely because of his age and immaturity, still impressionable. So we don't know. That's all I'm saying. And as far as social media confirming that this was politically, I'm waiting on the investigators, and they cannot confirm it. That's the only thing I'm saying. They can confirm that it's politically motivated. I hope we don't jump to that. It could be if he was in love with somebody, did something stupid, a dare. It could be I just wanted to see what my.
You got days to do it.
Can I
And I'm
react to
not
this
light.
for a second?
I'm not making it light to like charge him as a kid
Democrat
or anything.
struggle
I'm saying is he
session.
doesn't have the maturity, and I don't care. He just doesn't have the maturity at that age.
Thank you, Eric. Abby, before I'm gonna
Join the military in the United States. Someone remind me at what age can you sign up
18.
and join our military? Thank you.
Actually, it's not.
Was my dad fighting? My dad was
17.
fighting over in the Pacific Theater at the age of 18, 19.
I am. Can you mute up? We're getting a little feedback. I am. Please, thank you.
So I find that to be completely the opposite. So first of all,
This
most
is
people
legal
at the age of
notice.
20 do not agree with their parents. There's definitely, I mean, it's
on Monday,
rare that you find that they're politically aligned with their parents. They're usually at that point gone in their own directions. It just so happens that this guy grew up in southern Utah. And I don't know the last speaker, if you're familiar with southern Utah, what goes on there, I'm pretty familiar with it. It neighbors my city, and a lot of these kids, once they get out of high school or at the end of high school, when they start finding themselves, especially if they grow up in a strict Mormon community, which is what St. George and that area of southern Utah is, a lot of them come over the border to Nevada. A lot of them come out that are the ones that are gay come out and they come here, or they get involved in the industry here. They in either the gaming industry or they work in the different restaurants here, but they leave southern Utah. It's very common. It's very common that there is a change that happens once they leave that community. But go visit like Zion or spend some time in southern Utah and see what the communities are like there. And the fact that his parents were Mormon conservative it makes no difference. This kid had, went in the direction that he went. I mean, the FBI is coming out. There's, listen to the press conferences. Listen to what the investigators are releasing. Don't hear it on TikTok. Hear it directly from the news briefings that they do, or follow it that way. Or ask your own law enforcement. If they have updates on it. But I mean that to say someone at the age of 20 doesn't know. I mean, I think for me personally, I was like already, I skipped a little, so I was already starting law school. Like, there's no way. And I definitely didn't think the way my parents thought at that age. Like, for him growing up where he grew up, and you need to understand what the climate is like in southern Utah and how many kids leave that nest.
Thank you, counsel. And I hate the Phillies. Just want to say that.
Did you see the Eagles play? That was such a great game today. Sorry.
I didn't. I watched.
Poor Giants. I wanted to.
I'm a Jim fan.
We got destroyed. It's an embarrassment already. Let me go to David, Stan, and Matt.
Against New Hampshire, Juliana Basello appealed the judgment.
Of course there was some violence against Tesla cars. No Tesla plants were vandalized. There were Tesla stores that their windows were vandalized, not the plants. I'm not saying that's right at all. And most of the people that are doing vandalisms are just fuckfaces that want to destroy shit. Same thing with the BLM riots. There's a difference of protesters and riots. And don't get me wrong, there is violent people on the left too. But regarding the violent people on the right, I mean, let's look at the murder that happened to a politician in Minnesota not that long ago. That was very recently. You had a Fox News host the other day that literally said we should euthanize and kill homeless people with mental disabilities if they don't want to accept help. That is not a lie. That just recently happened. That's Fox News mainstream media that said we should kill. That is Nazi stuff. That is violence. Spreading that ideology to their followers is insane. This is the world we live in. And to say there's not this extremist going on, Donald Trump recently said on Fox News that these far-right extremists are needed to prevent crime. I mean, this rhetoric. The shooter, the same day that Charlie Kirk got murdered, there was a school shooting. And yes, this is preliminary investigation stuff, which a lot of times that may be inaccurate. Same thing with the Charlie Kirk. A lot of the stuff that's coming about Charlie Kirk, don't believe it. I mean, you could hear it, but some of the stuff that's coming out is about the most recent shooter the same day.
Wait, hold on, David. So we shouldn't believe when the governor of Utah comes out and says that he was living with a transgender person and he supported transgender rights. We shouldn't believe that?
I should say be cautious of the information, because look how often the information comes right after an active shooter situation. That's very common. Whether it's a Las Vegas shooting that happened that I was involved with, the certain things, with a lot of the other shootings. Just, I'm not saying don't believe.
You know nothing about the Las Vegas shooting, by the way, David.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
No, I don't think so.
That's bullshit, by the way.
Yeah, well, I'm going to call bullshit on that. I'll take you on that in a heartbeat.
You don't know my past. I'll just say that.
You don't know mine.
Yeah,
my cousins.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a second, David. Just to get some clarity, Abby, he's former Homeland Security. That's what
He can be, but tell me all about the investigation into Stephen Paddock post the shooting. What do you know about it, Dave?
We can talk about that offline, because that's actually one of my biggest. That PTSD. So I'm not going to go there right now. I did leave shortly after the Homeland Security.
Okay, then what does he know?
Yeah. So what
is Homeland Security?
what's
I was Intel.
Because I can't talk about that. I can't talk about, his fiance.
Tell me about the baby monitor. Tell me all about the baby monitor and the.
Okay, are you talking about the female that lived in Reno, and I know about her? I knew personally, not personally, know her. I got to know her. Actually, let's just move on, because I'm sure you're going to throw in a bunch of conspiracy theory shit. And let's just move on from that. Because that one is.
I don't have conspiracy theory. I left a meeting 3 days ago with one of the investigative officers from Fusion, so I don't have. Believe me, I don't. And I also can talk a lot about the settlement with MGM if you want to talk about that.
Okay, let's move on to that. Past that topic, because I can go there. I just rather not, because I'd rather not get myself worked up. I'm not getting paid anymore, so why put myself.
All right, move past it. Let's go, David. Can I have the speakers waiting?
Before I got cut off there, there is a lot of examples of people in the alt-right extremists, a shitload of them, and we can just keep on pulling those up. So that does exist. But going back to this Fox News comment by the major anchor, I mean, what the heck? That is insane that he said that. Insanity that he's preaching that. That is violence. That's
David, do me a favor, put a link in the chat.
Yeah, 100%.
Thank you. But David, I need you to link some of the speakers that have waiting to go. Thank you. Stan, how you doing, Stan?
Desist from any further
Thanks for having this room.
Thank you for having patience, man.
Oh yeah, just a few points. I being somewhat familiar with Utah, I want to affirm what Abby said about people that grow up in southern Utah. They definitely. It's very hard potentially when you grow up and you're forced to go to a certain ward every Sunday and do certain actions, and you may decide to change your point of view, short term or long term, when you first leave your house.
So funny.
I'm not suggesting I know what happened here, but it's not uncommon for that to happen. But to go to what I mentioned earlier, it's well known that the frontal lobe develops for males, and the age fully develops around 25 to 27, and about 2 years earlier for women. But that's, as a whole, for each person, it's different. And the full development is not
Stanley, you can say whatever you like, bro, and I'm sorry for cutting you off, but, bro, if you're 20 years old, you know murder's wrong. That's it.
As I was going to say, the full development does not mean that you're not, 95% developed at a younger age. I'm not an expert on it, but I did look up that. But what I also want to point out is, according to the American Psychological Association, transgender is not something that is a belief, but is based upon how you are born. And ascribing that to being left or right may not be the best way to go. We don't know all this yet. So be careful in that one. I do realize that some people don't subscribe to the science, but I will also point out
that science brought us these great supercomputers we have in our pockets right now that enable us to talk online. So to the degree that you want to refute science, maybe some of our advances only came from science. But my main point is that there are people behind the Trump movement that are trying to divide the country. They are trying to use social media and its current implementation to cause people to hate each other, to cause divisiveness. They understand the algorithms, and they're taking advantage of it. I will cite that, for example, J.D. Vance said they were using Carl Schmitt's stuff, and Carl Schmitt was one of the early political philosophers that existed in the 1930s. I didn't like the outcome of the 1930s. I hate what I heard on X a couple nights ago. There's way too much anti-Semitism going on, just rampant. No reason for that. And where we are right now shouldn't be being promoted by a small segment of people behind the current administration. You can see it in Vance's speeches that he's trying to promote that. And we can see what Mr. Miller or Stephen Miller said today, trying to suggest that there's going to be retaliation or they were going to go after people. Instead, what I think we need is we need to tone it down. We heard Governor Cox of Utah say something a couple days ago. I really hope that we can tone it down. And I hope that those that are behind the philosophy that exists for how Trump got to where he is right now.
Stan, I need you to landscape. Thank you.
Terry, this is
Jordan, hold on, Jordan.
I will be
There's been a bunch of people haven't spoken yet. I promise to get back to you. Let me do a quick reset. Can I just give you conversations, collaboration? Will Trouble that spark more violence? I say absolutely. Let me say hello to Johannes, Rosette, how you doing? XG, good to see you. Shy, good to see you. Megan, Dr. Captain, always a pleasure. Ash, Rabbi, Jen, good to see you. Guys, you have a pink ticket, please cash those in. We have great conversations in this house all the time. I'm going to go to the next speaker, Jordan. I promise I'll get you. I'm going to go to my friend Matt Manzella, who I haven't spoken to in a while, and I'm going to go to what he said. Matty, how you doing?
Doing well, Jay. How's it going?
Man, fucking Jets suck ass, but other than that, I'm great.
I'm a Giants fan, but I'm suffering with you. That's all I can tell you. What I was going to say on the issue is there are a lot of events all the time. Nye earlier said that the right doesn't riot when bad things happen. Most people don't riot when bad things happen. The Minnesota lawmakers were killed. The left didn't riot. McVeigh blew up a federal building. The left didn't riot. RFK was killed. The left didn't riot. There's a long history of not rioting, and there's 3 instances maybe in the last 40 years where there have been significant riots in the United States. I would say there has been violence from both sides for the entirety of my lifetime. And it's usually fringe people. It is always unfortunate. And the best thing we can do is take care of our neighbors and make sure people live in a good world, because people that live in a good world are less likely to commit violence. And I'll just end on that.
Thank you, Matt. Jason Voorhees, how you doing, man?
Doing good, man. Sorry about your Jets. My Jaguars, their heart's broken as well.
Man, I'd rather be a Jaguar fan, bro. But it might be
normal, man. Okay. All right, man. Yeah, so I was just gonna say this. I think we always get caught up in the trap of like the finger pointing and stuff. And Trump is guilty as the left that he talks about. Now, with that said, a lot of the things he said about the left is true. I don't care what none of y'all say. A lot of that stuff is true. But he does turn a blind eye to the things that his own base does. That is true as well. And I think what gets missed a lot of times in these conversations is that 2 things can be true. Both sides can be very violent if they feel like it, and they have been when they felt like it. But I think that the people on the right it's already kind of like Trump is already kind of known as like this anti-fascist and incites violence and all that, and people already kind of look at his supporters as that. So like nobody is usually breaking news when we say, oh yeah, people on the right do violent things. What I tend to see more so is that the left, they act like they don't do anything. Like, and a lot of their supporters act like they don't never do anything. And they do. And when they act like they don't, it makes it worse. So when you have situations like when people on the right die or they call for the death of people, we'll even go here. When Biden was in office and he was looking real sick and everything like that, and we didn't see him for months and we didn't know what was going on, I didn't see anybody talking about they hope he dead and that he don't come back and all this type of stuff. But when they seen that Trump looked like he was sick, I guess he had something going on. They could see it on his hands, or whatever the case may be. And it was like, oh, the day might be coming. And it was going viral saying it too. Like it was going around, and it was like, oh, it might actually happen, and they like waiting for it. And then obviously you see the reaction to the Kirk stuff. So my thing is, we know what the right be doing. We already know, extreme conservatives also, are very violent. And it's always kind of put on Front Street. The left stuff is usually not. You usually got to fight through a lot of gaslighting to get a Democrat supporter to admit that they do anything wrong. But that's it.
Thank you, Jason. I'm going to read this. I put a new article on top, guys. Let me read the top, the title to this article. Charlie Kirk assassination suspect had a furry fixation. I still don't know what the fuck that is. And his trans boyfriend proclaimed support for Biden on social media. So here's the thing. Anybody says this is not politically motivated, I get it. Let's wait till the investigation's over. Forget that these things were etched on these bullets that killed this man. Let's just forget all that. Let's forget he's 20 years old. Let's all make excuses for why this man did what he did. Just my opinion. But I'm gonna go to hold on, everybody, hold on, David. I know you guys are fighting at the bit, but I'm gonna get to speak. I haven't spoken yet. I'm gonna go to Jordan and David. Adrian, how you doing, Adrian?
What's going on with you, man?
Chilling. You want to chime in?
Five
yeah.
Five have already done it.
I do. I implore everyone in this room to look at my PTR. Y'all see that, right? Y'all see that, right? Yeah, we remember that day when that shit happened. People was like, what the fuck is going on in this country? This shit look like something out of Beef or Vendetta. It's like some Chancellor Sutton type shit. Right? Okay. This motherfucker was talking cash money shit to the American people. But we know who he was talking to because he was only talking to
I've already done it.
You weren't talking to Johnson boys. No way, buddy. When we talk about political violence in this damn country, I agree with the last person. That what the last speaker just said. People love to have selective memories, selective outrage. Because when it comes to their side, they turn a blind eye to act like it never happened. To prove this point, January 6th, right? We know January 6th up and down, inside out, in and around and about.
This was legal notice
we know everything about January 6th. By the way, we still don't know who the hell planted the pipe bombs at the DNC and RNC, but that's no topic.
Damages against your chief.
Let me tell you something else that people don't know.
May
29th,
2020. Should you be unable to settle a paper judgment?
People like, yo, what the hell is that, Adrian? May 29th is when far left activists tried to run up into the White House.
Sorry, this is legal.
They set fire to St. John's Church. They set fire to guard posts, injured cops, and everything. Over 100-some cops they injured. They actually tried to run up into the White House, which what prompted Donald Trump to be ushered off to the bunker. And when that happened, they called it bunker bitch. Why are you teasing the guy for looking out for his safety? Y'all are trying to run up into the house where he literally sleeps with his family. But hey, let's talk about the insurrection that happened at the Capitol. That, by the way, the right had firearms out the wazoo and didn't shoot not a single person. But yet, let's label this as the most deadliest thing that happened to our country since Pearl Harbor. That was the narrative, wasn't it? Pretty sure it was.
Thank you, Adrian. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, go ahead, bro.
I
just want to highlight the hypocrisy. A lot of people like to, you know what I'm saying, overlooking shit, but you know, I'm a highlighter. I'm a hypocrisy highlighter. So yeah, go right ahead.
You should change your name. That's a great name. You should change your name to that. I love that name.
Yeah.
There's plenty of hypocrisy on this app. You know that. But thank you for your share. Let me go to Shy. Hey, Shy. Shy, you there? All right.
Can you come back to me?
I'll definitely come back to you. I'm going to go to DQ, then I'll go to Jordan, David, and back to you, Shy. DQ, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, man, catching that pink ticket is free.
Oh, my bad.
No worries, man.
Do I think the assassination was start more violence? I'm gonna be honest, bro. No. Well, maybe. I think due to our news cycle, this is gonna be one of those other events that happen, and we gonna stop talking about it in 2 weeks from now. So there's gonna be more to say until the next news cycle happens again. Unfortunate as it is, this was one of the moments like, okay, this happened. It's a hot topic. We're gonna move on. People gonna forget about it. We're conditioned to do that at this point. So as far as more violence, I don't think so. It's gonna be whatever the next thing that's gonna happen, we're just gonna move on. We're gonna focus on to the next thing. So political violence is not new in this country. It was here before us, it's gonna be here after us. So it's just like one of those things that we have as America. That shit just happens. It sucks, but it's part of where we come from. Like, violence has always been focus is really your I don't agree with it, but it happens. We gotta be prepared for when it happens, what do we do?
Thank you, DQ. I appreciate your share, man. Appreciate it. Hey, Nah, you there? I want to go to you for a second.
Yes.
You know what's funny? What this young man just triggered a thought in my head, which is very rare. We haven't heard anything about the Epstein files in weeks.
Well, yeah, another great distraction. You know what I'm saying? I told you the other night when my 3 theories months ago were going to come to fruition about what would be the next distraction. We got all 3. You know, for those who didn't hear, a couple months ago we were talking about the Epstein files, and this was right around the time Trump released, he claimed he released some unsealed documents on MLK, and MLK's family was feeling some way. And I said, JB, listen, all this is a distraction, and be prepared for additional distractions. And those distractions could be come in the form of some sort of UFO alien invasion. I was being funny, but not really. I said, we'll either have some terrorists or mass shooting, and some white girl will suffer a tragedy, because, every time a white girl goes missing, I'm not trying to be funny or be racist, but a pretty white girl suffers some sort of tragedy and makes global international headlines. And all 3 has come true. We've had the Kirk assassination. We had that the innocent Ukrainian girl who was stabbed. And the scientists claim there's some sort of UFO hurling towards Earth, some sort of massive object that they don't know what it is. Is it alien? Is it a rock? We don't know. But it's coming towards Earth. All 3 distractions. And so what's next? I mean, we're only in September. What's going to be next, guys? We won't hear nothing about Epstein probably until, next election cycle? Maybe. I don't know. But we are entering the fall season, so we might get a COVID variant as the next level distraction.
Bite your tongue. No more COVID. By pinning the article to the top, guys, Trump blasts the left and announces major investigations underway after Charlie Kirk's assassination. See, here's the point I made the other day, and I'll say it again. I know some of you right-leaning people are going to get mad at me, but Donald Trump needs to shut the fuck up. Just shut up. This is the type of rhetoric that just stokes all this shit, man, and I believe that wholeheartedly. We'll go Jordan, David, then Justin. Jordan, you there?
Yeah, I mean, I do think we're...
Again, Zuckerberg kind of deregulated fact-checking.
Candidate Congressman John Kitover legal statement.
We were just waiting for a story, not necessarily one that would distract us.
This is legal notice that on Monday I will find personal injury defamation slander lawsuit against you. I'll be seeking $40,000 compensatory $100,000 punitive damages against you. Cease and desist from any further sign immediately. I will seek wage punishment on personal meeting against your home should be unable
by the notion of whether or not this was a political thing. The ideology of this young man was. But the truth is, we flooded the internet with so much stuff that is algorithmically driven, that is sowing confusion and more hate. It's actually unbelievable. I have a counterterrorism expert from Israel who's now in residence at Brandeis. She was at Yale. And I wasn't thinking of this, but she wants to come back on the show, and we were really talking about Israeli-Palestinian affairs. But she's now an expert on cybersecurity and cyber hate. And so I'm going to ask her, because I think the question is this perpetrated by international entities who know that they can, let's say, Islamist groups that know that sowing this kind of hate and using it as a tool to divide the Jewish community, even as one thing, blah, 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 blah. It's so interesting to me. Maybe Abby could speak to this, but I'm going to have her on and maybe see if she could talk specifically about, her name is Dr. Koblitz. She's at Reitman University, but she could maybe speak to this specifically. And I'm done.
Thank you, Jordan. Appreciate you. David, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I was
David.
Hey, Brock.
I'm just going to comment the fact that you brought up about the furry thing.
Review Terry Newsom.
I would just be cautious about making those complete facts, even when they're released by certain politicians of the town or whatever. Because over and over and over, these preliminary, quotation mark facts, many of them turn out to be complete bullshit. And that one may be true, 100%. I mean, I don't freaking know. There's no way I know if that's true or not. And it just so often is people get their information from Facebook facts, news facts, and a lot of the news are complete bullshit. And even much so, I mean, if you look at the time.
Hey, David, I get my facts from TikTok, but go ahead.
Even from right when the day of, I mean, there was facts coming out. Well, this, maybe it's that, maybe it's this. I mean, even people on the left were saying it's this. Now I'm hearing even the sheriff, his dad may not be a sheriff. And it's just be cautious about what you hear, even when it's coming from politicians in that area, because there's such a pressure to release shit. They'll just willing to make up crap. Or not necessarily make up crap. They may hear a rumor and then go off that because they have pressure to have releases. Even the different sheriff agencies, the different state police, whatever agency it is, they have so much pressure to release stuff. And it a lot of times is not 100% correct. And you just look at patterns of any mass shooting or any big incident. And in college, we had multiple weeks of hearing the press releases versus the few weeks later the actual police report and the things that just differ on that. And I mean that's just with anything, with any event that happens like this. Just be cautious about what is truly a fact, and don't rush into it.
Thank you, David. Thank you, David. Shai, you ready to jump in or no? You can come back if you want.
Should I just answer the question?
You know how I run the rooms. You can talk about whatever you like.
I think it will spark more violence. I think it will. I just think it's ironic how some of the ideology has kind of switched after this. Now lefties are pioneering free speech and having the ability to make fun of the crime of death, which, to be fair, that is free speech. But that's ironic to me. What's also ironic is how they're advocating for waiting for the facts to come out when usually they were doing the opposite. Especially if anybody got killed by police. But now that it's Charlie Kirk, and it might be
Greg,
one
could
of
you turn
theirs.
your
Now,
statements
wait
above the context
until
compared with all the
the guy
defamation
that did it
cases you can?
proclaims himself
Taylor,
as
this
a
is legal
leftist.
notice that on
Although,
Monday,
like, all
we
the
find
evidence
personal
that we've
defamation and slander
accumulated
against
so far
slander lawsuit against you will be seeking 40,000.
I do think both sides have been violent towards each other, but just not to this scale. And now that leftists have kind of opened up that door, I think it's going to be potentially dangerous for them. I hope not, because if there were, if it was to get more serious than this, we know which side will kind of win. That the side of guns or the side of anti-guns, which one? I mean, common sense. But I'll probably just leave it at that.
Thank you, Sean. Great share. I agree with everything you just said. By the way, to piggyback off what you said, DQ, you got to chill, bro. I got you. But when you come off mic, I get feedback.
I'm on that.
No worries. President Trump, I don't know if it was today or yesterday, or maybe it was Friday, maybe any of those instances, he requested from Congress increased budget for the Supreme Court security because he's worried about some of these lunatics going after our justices. So there's that. DQ, hold on 1 second. Justin's been patiently waiting. I'll come right after Justin. I'll come to you, DQ. Justin, how you doing?
Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Cash in your ticket. You're coming in fine. Quick, cash in your pink ticket, okay?
Okay. I don't know what that means exactly. It means join
the house, yeah.
Okay, I see. Well, yeah, so I do believe this is going to create more violence. The left has created a culture of violence already, and the media is still constantly coddling the left. There's, of course, middle grounders, people who like to say this is happening on both sides. They're also still persisting to coddle the left, trying to apologize, say, oh, well, January 6th, oh, there was also, the senator who got by, it was Vance Bolter, even though that guy was definitely left-wing because he had a No Kings, flyer in his car, and he also said he was sent by Tim Walz, and also he has a recent picture of him with another woman that says, I'm a Democrat because I think, and he had a shirt that said resist. So he, just like Tyler Robertson, they seem to be, at least as of the last 4 years, recent converts to the left. Now, I guess the guy who killed the senators, he seems to be a more recent convert to the left and just been radicalized really quickly for some reason. But my point is that because somehow this hive, they can sense that the media is going to give them cover. Culture, everybody's sort of like, trying to apologize for them and protect them from our anger, like how furious we are. They feel like, okay, it's a green light. We can keep on doing this. It's not their, this is not their boiling point. Like, we just shot Charlie Kirk. Oh, this is not enough. We're going to keep doing it. And there's this hive mind because when Charlie Kirk got shot, immediately, this is reports on the ground, and a little bit we can see it online. Immediately, people said, "Oh, I'm the shooter." Like, multiple people was doing that to confuse the police. The old guy kept on, who got arrested first, kept on saying, "Shoot me, shoot me." Like, he was trying to add to the confusion. Like, either he was definitely part of the conspiracy, or because he was left-wing, he knew exactly what to do at that moment, and he knew that he had to help whoever that was out there to get away. So they always, they had this high.
Hold on, Justin. Are you talking about the young man who put his arms up and was screaming?
Not him. I'm assuming him. I'm just saying him, but there's an old man who was arrested first.
The old man that was arrested, it was known as a provocateur before he got arrested. And the young man that put up his arm screaming has spoken to the FBI, and he told the FBI I was screaming, God bless America. Now, I don't know if any of that's true, Justin. I'm just giving you some context.
Right, but the provocateur knew exactly what to say and what to do. He knew to, like, if he had any heart, he knew not to do all that. But, wasting the resources and the time of the police when they're supposed to get the shooter, because the shooter could have been going out to try to kill more people. But either way, there was reports of other people saying on the shooter, and confusing the situation. So it's like they all kind of know, okay, we need to act like this to protect, like, the most evil guy here, the actual killer. So this is going to keep on happening. They know, and then there was this visual. I'm sorry.
I should land your plane, please.
Okay. Just a last thing. Just today, I guess there was this visual where a gentleman just ran through, all the little candles and things that were left there for Charlie Kirk, and of course the people took him down. But what's interesting, he had the exact same shirt that the shooter had. So already we're seeing this copycat, I guess this copycat culture that's arising. So yeah, this is definitely going to grow, and they're really trying to push us to retaliate so that they will feel justified about all the evil things that they were doing. But anyway, I'm good.
Hearing Congressman John Kitover legal statement on
Let me just say this real quick, and I promise I'll hand it back to you. When the President of the United States comes out and he blasts the left, that's stoking the flames. That's not bringing it down. I don't think Trump can. I'm going to keep it real. I don't think Trump gives two fucks if this country tears itself apart. Get it, Shai.
Slander lawsuit politics. Joe Severino.
Just to answer something in the comments, because they said, has anyone talked about the shooter possibly being a part of a group that's even farther rape than Charlie Kirk? Being that he's described Charlie Kirk as hateful. If he was more further right, he would have described him as not hateful enough. He definitely wouldn't refer to him as a fascist. That's not. It doesn't make any sense. There's only two different places he could really sit on. He's not moderate.
Part of politics is certainly starting with pop. Gossip and drama is news, so now you're just a fish in water beneath the spring, but it's all just spam.
More right-wing. The reason why he wouldn't be considered alt-right is because, again, the alt-right thinks Charlie Kirk is a rhino. They don't feel like as though he's conserving traditional values by inviting gay conservatives to speak at TPUSA events, etc., etc. If that was the case, again, why would he describe him as hateful? He would describe him as not hateful enough that was really why they hated him. Why workers didn't really think fond of him much. And again, he wouldn't describe himself as a fascist. If you accumulate all the evidence, what was written on the bullets, the type of people he's around, it points to him being on the left. Possibly, center left. I doubt it though, but it points to him being on the left. It doesn't point to him being a groiper. It doesn't add up.
Hey, Shai. Here's the thing. You, thank God, have common sense. Most people don't. I'm being serious. Most people don't, right? What you just said, I agree with everything you just said. But people are too lazy and dumb to have common sense. Actually, hold on a second. I'm going to come to you in a minute, but I got to... DQ's been patient waiting. I got to say hello to BB. DQ, you there?
Yeah, I just wanted to piggyback off the guy